Alright mate, how you doing, and welcome to a brand new series on my channel where I talk to you guys about football. It's called I.M.O. Okay, so welcome to the first ever I.M.O, which stands for In My Opinion, because I'm going to talk to you about my opinion on what's going on in football throughout the season, starting off with this first video where I do my Premier League predictions. I'm also going to do my European League, Champions League predictions at the end of the video as well. A lot of you have been asking me to do this. I've done it in past seasons. First off, we should probably review how I got on with last season's prediction in the Premier League. And I think the answer is I did okay. I got the top four completely right, which I'm quite happy with. And I also got Stoke correct. I said they'd finish 9th, and they did finish 9th. So overall, 5 out of 20 isn't bad, although I want to do better this time around. First up, the 3 relegated teams. Now, it's easy to say that the 3 teams that got promoted are going to be the 3 that go back down. This normally doesn't happen. Often you get 2 of them go back down, 1 will survive. However, I actually think all 3 are going to go back down this season. I think Bournemouth, Watford and Norwich will be returning from whence they came. However, not necessarily in that order. I think Watford are going to be bottom. I think Bournemouth are going to have an entertaining season, much like when Blackpool came up, played good football but went down. And I also think Norwich will just miss out on staying in the league, finishing 18th. Now, as for 17th to 11th place in the Premier League, I think the likes of Leicester, Aston Villa and Sunderland are not going to have great seasons, but they are going to retain their Premier League status. I think Aston Villa in particular are going to struggle this season after losing Benteke and Delph. I mean, they didn't have a great season last year with them. Yes, they got to the FA Cup final. They only got their act together when they got Tim Sherwood on board as boss though. They've replaced Benteke with Gusted from Blackburn, who was doing okay in the Championship last year, but he's not a like-for-like replacement for me. So I think they'll struggle, but I think they'll stay up. Now, West Brom, Palace, Swansea and Southampton I've got making up 14th, 13th, 12th and 11th place in the league. All of them doing worse in my prediction to what they did in the 14-15 season. I think Southampton surprised us all last year after losing so many good players like Lallana and Shaw and Lovren. They managed to do really well, surprise a lot of people. I don't think they're going to be able to do that again after losing Alderweireld and Schneiderlin. I think this year we're going to see just how important Schneiderlin was to the Southampton team when he's not there. Likewise, Swansea haven't got Wilfred Bony to rely on for goals at the start of the season like they did last year. They're not going to do as well, but still decent, still, you know, maintaining their place in the Premier League comfortably. Now, into the top 10 positions, from 10th to 7th place, I think it's going to be Newcastle, Stoke, West Ham, who are my team, and Everton. I think the addition of Wijnaldum and Mitrovic for Newcastle is going to be really good purchases. I'm sure they'll score goals, but for me, they're still weak at the back for them to do any better than finish 10th. But I think they'll be happy with that after the season they had last year. Moving on to 9th position, Stoke, who I've actually predicted to finish 9th last year. I've got them finishing 9th again this year. They have added quality. They've got a lot of ex-Barcelona players now, along with the people they had before, like Arnautovic, who's a solid player. They have lost Nzonzi, though, who I think was quite good for them in previous seasons. I think they're going to maintain 9th position. Yes, they've bought well, but a lot of teams around them have also bought well. Now, I've got West Ham finishing 8th, and for me, this season could go either way for us. We could have a really good one, we could really struggle. As long as we don't get relegated before we get the Olympic Stadium, I'll be happy. But I think 8th is a realistic target for us. I don't think we're going to be in the Europa League much longer, and as a result, I think that will allow us to concentrate on the Premier League. We have bought well, the likes of Payet looking really good, and we haven't finished buying people yet. I think we're going to try and get Alex Song and potentially another striker, especially since Valencia has got injured. So I'd happily take 8th position. I think we could finish as high as 6th or 7th, but we could also end up finishing 17th. And I've got Everton finishing in 7th place, just outside the top 6. That will be a big improvement on what they did last season when they finished 11th. So that means the top 6 clubs are the same clubs that made up the top 6 last season, according to me in my prediction. However, the order has slightly changed. I think Tottenham are going to finish 6th. They're going to do one worse than they did last year. They're going to drop one place, swap with Liverpool, who I think will finish 5th. Now, Liverpool have bought well, I think. Yes, they've lost Sterling, but Firmino is going to hit the ground running, I'm pretty sure, as is Benteke. I think they've lacked a proper striker up there since they lost Suarez and Sturridge was injured last year. I think Benteke will get goals, and if Sturridge comes back, he'll definitely score again. But they are going to miss out on the top 4 and a Champions League place. Now, as I'm making this video, obviously the transfer window isn't closed, so I'm only going off what's currently happened in terms of business. This could drastically change if United or City or someone were to go out and buy a massive player. But the way I see it right now, I think United are going to finish 4th because yes, Depay, Schneiderlin, Schweinsteiger, good buys. However, they could lose De Gea, and it looks like they're going to definitely lose Angel Di Maria, who for me, yes, he didn't necessarily have an amazing season, but he's got top world-class quality, and if he's at the club, there's a chance that Van Gaal can get it out of him. But if he's gone, he can't do nothing. So if he goes to PSG, for me, that's a big hit on United's title hopes, especially if they don't replace him with someone equally talented. Pedro, yes, he could come, but for me, Pedro's not quite the Di Maria level. So right now, as things stand, United are going to get 4th, I think. And in 3rd place is going to be Man City. Now, Man City could go either way. They really could. They could smash it. Aguero could score loads of goals. Kompany could recapture his form of a few seasons ago. Or you could look at it the other way. Yaya Touré's a year older. Demichelis is a year older. Is Mangala going to find form, or is he going to struggle again? You know, they've bought Delph. Yeah, they've lost Milner. That kind of cancels each other out for me. I'm sure Sterling will have a good season for City, but I don't think he's a game changer enough to get them back to 1st place. I think if they buy 1 or 2 more names, they could though. But as things stand, I'm going for City in 3rd. That means Arsenal are going to finish the best they've done in the league for a long time and get 2nd, according to my prediction. For me, they're not far off 1st place. We saw them beat Chelsea in the Community Shield last weekend. I think they've got what it takes. They're just lacking 1 or 2 people. Again, the transfer window's still open. If they were to go out and get a top-class striker and maybe a CDM or a centre-back, I think they'd be ready to take on Chelsea. I really do. But as things stand, I'm going to put them in 2nd, and Chelsea are going to do what's really hard and retain the Premier League title. I reckon Mourinho can get the best out of Falcao. I think he'll score goals. Obviously, he's not even first choice. Diego Costa and Remy are there as well. I think he might get John Stones, which will add a little bit of youth to the defence, although that's more of a long-term purchase. John Terry was still solid for them last season, playing every single minute. Yes, they've lost Petr Cech to Arsenal. He wasn't their first choice, but he's going to improve Arsenal a lot. That's why they're knocking on the door of 1st place for me. But I still think with Courtois in there, and the youngsters they've got coming through, like Kurt Zuma, like Ruben Loftus-Cheek, really high quality potential players, I think they're going to keep 1st position and retain the championship. But remember, this is all in my opinion, guys. These are my predictions. What are your predictions? Let me know in the comments below if you disagree with me and why. Obviously, I'm not going to get all 20 right. If I did, I should put some sort of accumulator on, because I'd win a lot of moolah. And anything could happen between now and the end of the month. You know, any of these clubs could go out and buy some huge names that could change their fate in the Premier League massively. So this is just what I think will happen as things stand right now. Before we finish, let's do some European League predictions and Champions League prediction as well. So in France, I'm pretty confident PSG are going to retain their title. You know, they're going to probably get Di Maria in. That's a massive addition for them, making them even stronger. They haven't really got any competition in Ligue 1 since Monaco started going downhill. In Italy, I'm pretty sure Juventus are nailed on to win the Serie A for a 5th time in a row. They've lost some good players. They've lost Tevez and they've lost Vidal. However, they've replaced them quite well. Khedira on a free signing is one of the signings of the summer. Mandzukic as well has joined the ranks. Dybala, I think, is going to be amazing for the champions. So I think Juventus will hold on. Even if they go on to lose Pogba, I still think they've got enough. Yes, Andrea Pirlo's gone as well, but his powers were fading, I think. In Germany, there's only one team to look at, really, isn't there? Bayern Munich are going to do it. I think Dortmund will do a lot better than they did last time round. I think Wolfsburg look really dangerous, but Bayern, they are going to win it. I'm confident of that. And in the La Liga in Spain, Barcelona, that front three, the MSN, Messi, Suarez, Neymar connection is just too strong. I'm sorry, Benitez, you're not going to win it with Madrid. It's going to be Barcelona again. And on that note, Champions League, I can't look beyond Barcelona again. I think they've got one of the teams of all time. That front three is ridiculous. They've also welcomed Turan to the club as well. You know, he's not going to be able to play until after Christmas, after the embargo is lifted, but still, that team is frightening. Barcelona to do the double at least. So, they are my predictions. This is the first ever episode of I.M.O. Let me know what you think of it. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Leave me a comment with your predictions for the Premier League and the European Leagues and the Champions League. I look forward to seeing you next time, but until then, I'll see you when you're older. Don't go changing.